This is James Holder for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. I'm in Germany today in Kiel, just at the hotel ahead of Paul Smith's world title challenge against Arthur Abraham. How you feeling, Paul?
I feel great. Spot on. Everything that I'm doing, or everything that I've done, should I say, is done now, done and dusted, and all in the bank, as all the fighters say. But it's gone spot on. The camp, I've had no injuries. I've been lucky. I've got everything done that's been asked of me and more. And since I've been here, you know, every day waking up, my confidence is getting that little bit more every day. I'm waking up more and more confident every day. I'm around this scenario and the German people and the German press and round Arthur Abraham myself. I'm getting more and more confident every day.
Nearly 20 years you've been involved in the sport of boxing. How much does this moment mean to you?
It's everything. It's the pinnacle. And you know, everything I say will sound cheesy, but it's not. It's true. You know, it's the pinnacle of a fighter's career. It's the pinnacle of a young lad's dream who puts gloves on. I'm not talking about myself in the third person. I mean any young lad who puts a pair of gloves on. The dream is to win a world title and to be world champion and to call yourself champion of the world. You know, is an unbelievable stat, an amazing stat, and something that I really genuinely can't wait to feel.
Arthur Abraham's winning with some great fighters at middleweight and at super middleweight. How much of a challenge do you think he's going to be for you in taking this world title away?
Massive challenge, and I'm here in his backyard fighting a very, very good top level calibre of opponent in my opinion and everyone else's opinion. But styles make fights and timing's everything, and you know, you see everything going on about the fact that I lost to George Groves, I lost to James DeGale. You know, I lost to them in circumstances with different than this, and it's a different fight, it's a different fighter, it's a different time. It's totally irrelevant what happened in the past. The fact that them losses happened, and you know, it's everything is about timing in life. I always feel there's been champions that perhaps wouldn't have been champion if they'd have took the fight a year or two earlier, and there's also fighters that would have won a world title if they just fought the opponent that beat them a year later. Timing is everything, and I think the timing's perfect for me. And you know, it's just one of them situations where I just have to get everything right on the night. You know, I don't need to go out there and have the fight in my life and fight perfect and out of my skin and hope he's really bad. I just need to get the game plan right. I'm expecting the best Arthur Abraham. I've been watching the best Arthur Abraham. I've been watching his fights with Andre Ward, where even though he lost, I felt he boxed well. I felt he was sharp. I felt he was on it. And I think it's probably one of the best that he's been at super middleweight. I've watched the Stieglitz fight, what he won, where he was really up for the fight. He was training hard for it. He gave everything he had to try and get his title back, and he'd done the job. But I've also watched his last fight where he's going through the motions. I've watched a few fights where he's gone through the motions, and you know, if he hasn't prepared right, then that's what he's going to do with me. He's going to try and go through the motions, or just going to try and come out and throw all his eggs in one basket. But whatever happens, I'm ready for. I've got a brilliant game plan, and I'll be more than ready on the night.
Last time we saw you in action was in an 8-rounder in Cardiff. Magnitude of the occasion now, stepping up to a world title, to fight in Abraham's backyard. How confident are you feeling right now?
Unbelievably confident, amazingly confident, and I've got all the faith in my ability and my power and my strength and the training that I've done in the camp and the tactics. I've got all the faith in the world in Joe and the game plan that we've derived. It's there to see. Listen, I'm waiting for Sky as a pundit, and I have to read fights and read fighters now, and I have to break down, take a little step back a little bit more and break down a fight and break down fighters for a job. So I do better now in my own career as well, for my own thing, and me stepping back and breaking down Arthur Abraham as sort of an outsider looking in. There's shots there that I know I can see and that I know he's been it with before, and I know that's hurt him before. You know, we're not hearing the best rumours over here. There could be a lot of mind games, and I'm not naive enough to just believe everything I'm hearing, but it's as he motivated himself properly. Am I enough motivation for him? I'm just a routine defence for him. Someone who lost to George Groves and James DeGale.
It's a very honest answer.
It is, but I'm prepared for the best Arthur Abraham, and anything else for me is a bonus. I always overestimate every opponent I get in with. A journeyman's got a chance of taking me head off, and I always overestimate, and it's always nice and better to overestimate. But it's whether he's overestimated me or not, or whether he's underestimated me.
I know boxers always say the camp's been great, everything's been great, not to give anything away, but genuinely, how was your camp for this been, Paul?
It's been spot on. Everything I've done, I've said time and again, you know, I'm making it sound like I've held back in previous camps. I haven't, but you ask any fighter how hard it is to motivate yourself for an 8 rounds against an opponent that you don't even know, or to motivate yourself for a world title fight against Arthur Abraham in Germany for X amount of money, for the chance of winning this world title and having so many defences after it, and the chance to achieve every dream you've ever had since you were a kid. Getting out of bed's a hell of a lot easier in the morning. You know, pushing a plate of food away when you're finished is a lot easier to do it any time. You know, going to the gym for your third and fourth sessions, it's a lot easier to do when you know you've got that carrot hanging in front of you. And I've got a massive opportunity, a believable and reachable opportunity on Saturday night, what I intend to take with both hands.
If you win this fight, you could potentially secure the financial future of not yourself, but future generations of the Smith family. Is that something you think about?
It's all I think about. You know, I'm not just in boxing for the money. I never have been. But at the end of the day, it's a job. It's my job, and anyone doing a job, you know, to use one of them Floyd Mayweather lines, you know, if you're flipping burgers, make sure you're the best at flipping burgers in there. If you're a mechanic, you know, be the best mechanic you can be. I'm a boxer. I've got a short career and a short span of time to try and make as much money as I can, because I can't fight when I'm 34, 35. I have to retire. I can't get in there and earn money that way. I'm lucky enough that I'm probably going to go into Sky when I retire and have a future in the media, which is what I want to do. But if I didn't have that, I have to make as much as I can now. If I retire from boxing and don't make enough money, I've got to go and, I've got no trade, I've got no A-levels, I've got no degree. You know, I have to go and start. I had a painter in the house, and I was having a conversation, and I said to him, with all respect in the world, I don't want to be a painter when I retire from boxing. And it's not a dig at your job or your trade, it's a great trade, it's a great job, I can't do it. But I'd have to start where you was 10 years ago. And I haven't got the time, the luxury, or the chance to do that, to be able to earn a decent amount of money, enough just to pay the bills every week. So it's of course financially motivating, and it's of course, you know, very important to me that I win this fight and win the next few fights, because that's the chance world level fights to secure, you know, big money for me and mine in the future. And said, you know, Arthur Abrams driving a gym in a Ferrari, and I don't want a Ferrari. I never have one to one. I wouldn't have one if I had enough money and luxury to have one. It's nothing that interests me. I just want to make sure the roof over my head and my family's head and my kids' heads paid for, and their roofs over their heads are paid for. We've got the university fees, the school fees, you know. I've got twin stepdaughters, they're 13. I think I'm going to have 2 weddings to pay for as well. So I've just got to try and get as much in as I can in a short amount of time to last, and just to be able to live, not comfortably, just to be able to get by.
Speaking to your brothers today, it's a fantastic bond you've got with them, and they're sort of living this world title shot through you, knowing the fact that they're trying to reach that level as well.
Yeah, of course.
Does that bond help you?
Oh, massively. And listen, I've been like, I've said about the way the occasion's not getting to me known as much as what it does for some fighters who are new to it. I've been around this occasion and this scenario and situation a few times with the likes of Ricky Hatton, part of that team, Matthew Macklin when he fought Stern, part of that team, a few others. So, but having my brothers with me and having them part of it, if I, Stephen, Liam or Callum were fighting for a world title, I'd feel like I was fighting for one as well. The minute they win a world title, I'll feel like a world champion at the time as well. And it'll be the same Saturday. As soon as I lift that belt, they'll be world champions themselves on Saturday.
What kind of fight can we expect on Saturday? Arthur Abraham's got a tendency sometimes to stand in front of people, try and look for that getting into a fight and using his power. What kind of fight are we expecting?
A smart one from me. I have to be smart, I have to be clever. You know, it's so easy to come out there, rest my head on his head and just bang away with him. But it's just playing into his hands. It's the way he fights. It's the way he's fought and won world titles for years, and the way he's the most effective. And it's not in anyone's best interest to go out and fight to your opponent's strengths. I don't care who you are or what you are. You know, being smart is the key to this fight. You need to be smart, but you need to have the fitness, the engine in the tank, the strength and the power to go with it. And that's all been done in the last 12-14 weeks. So all them boxes are ticked. I just need to keep smart on the night, implement the game plan, stay strong, stay tough, stay switched on, and take the fight from them.
This is a real chance to prove yourself in the world stage. Potentially you could go back to Britain, world champion, and the super middleweight division as it is, there could be some massive fights for you.
Of course.
Is that something you're allowing yourself to think of at the moment?
All I'm thinking about is Arthur Abraham. You know, I saw George Groves last week and he done great. He boxed well. It was a hard fight for him, tough fight, but he toughed it out and showed another side to his game for me, that he's got the engine and willing to dig in and get stuck in. But I've said, since I boxed George, he'll be world champion. I've said since I boxed James DeGale, I think he'll be world champion. Carl Froch's the daddy. He's got the both belts. He's a brilliant example for any fighter growing up, just of hard work and using the most of your ability, and you'll get there, and he has done. There's also Andre Ward sitting there who hasn't really had a fight, but in Britain, it's a massive division. But you know, Felix Sturm is now fighting Robert Stieglitz to face the winner out of me and Arthur Abraham as well. So there's a load of very good fights what can possibly be made. But I hope George goes and fights Terrell and beats Terrell. I hope James, you know, maybe gets the WBA title, the IBF title stays with Carl, or the IBF, sorry, vacates and the WBA stays with Carl. Imagine that for the division, you know, 4 world champions, all Brits. I don't think just out of respect then it'll ever eclipse the likes of Eubank and Ben and Collins era, because for me growing up that was something else. That was like the be all and end all. That was what you watched and who you watched and who you admired and aspired to be. But they never had 4 world champions at the one time, and that'll be some achievement if the super middleweight division was all 4 Brits who had all 4 belts.
Massive Liverpool contingent coming in. I've seen about 10 of them on the plane today already. They're in Kiel already, so Kiel better watch out. We're expecting a huge contingent Saturday. The noise levels, I said German boxing, usually there's a round of applause after rounds. Going to be a bit of a culture shock for them, isn't it?
I think it will be. I've said, you know, I'm not slagging Germans off, the knowledgeable fans,
of
but
course.
For them it's like an occasion and a show and, a rock band, and you know, sitting there with the missus or with the legs across them, you know, sitting back in the comfy seats and everything else. But for Britons, you know, we're Scousers especially, we're rowdy, we have a drink, we're getting behind our own, you know, we're noisy and vocal, and we get behind our own and support the lad in the ring who you're there to support. And I can't keep saying Scousers because it's not, you know, the amount of support I've received from all over the country, and I know because I've seen the list of the tickets that have been sent out and where they've been sent to. You know, there's some in Southampton, there's some in Glasgow, there's some up north in Middlesbrough, Wales. You know, I wrote 1 or 2 of the letters myself for Wales for the tickets, and I couldn't spell the addresses half the time. There's that many, and it's very humbling and brilliant, the fact that people are coming out and spending their hard-earned money to come support me here. The least I can do is win this belt for them.
Well, with respect, you're a real likeable family man, Paul, you know. Said you're always there to help people. You've always been real with people, so.
Always, and one thing I am is always straight, you know, it's just, you're going to get your people who just don't like you answering back to them, don't like you giving a bit of stick back. You think just because you're a boxer and you're in the eye and everything else you can't say nothing back, but at the end of the day I've always lived my life that way. I'm straight, I'm honest. Anyone that knows me and that knows me well enough will like me, and if I'm your mate, I'm your mate. That's how it goes. But you know, as a person, all I want to do is just, I've said time and again, all I want to do is be happy, be successful in my job and in my living, and just get by. And I am a family man, that's it. That's all I'm interested in. It's the only thing I'm interested in.
You've got a massive opportunity for yourself and your family Saturday. Go out and grasp it with both hands, Paul.
Thank you.
No regrets on this moment, mate.
Nice one, mate. Thank you. Cheers, and thanks for all the support to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.